Hello, this is Will. I'm a real werewolf. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you would, or video or whatever. I've been asked to stop swearing by Louis, so as a favour, I'm going to stop swearing in this bit. Okay, this is Will the Werewolf, continuing with the philosophy of the anti-villain. That's my philosophy. This is interview 6 of the philosophy sequence. This one's called The Storytelling Ape. It's the storytelling fake ape. It's number 6, so it's why I really hate humans. We've already talked about agriculture, about the domestication of wheat and animals. We talked about the murder of the megafauna. We've talked about the murder of the other species of humans that were around, so like Homo neanderthalis and stuff like that. You killed them all off. How you killed off your brothers and sisters in different countries just because you could. So now we're getting to the storytelling fake ape, and it's about the fictions that you produce. I am Will, I'm a werewolf, and I'm telling you this truth at a great risk to myself. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please like this video. We have a website, werewolf.host, and you can speak to me there, I think. And if you have any questions, that would be good. You can only speak to Louis on the YouTube channel, yeah, so you can only speak to Louis on the YouTube channel. I'm Will. I am an administrator on the website, which will be up in January 2021 apparently. Yes, so I'm going to continue with my philosophy. Now, Louis didn't want me to do these because he thinks that you'll hate me for them, but as I told him, I want to do them, and I don't give a shit. So, this is the reasons why I hate humans. Okay, so the homos began to produce fictions in which they could place their faith and get their meaning, and with homos, I mean Homo sapiens. This was okay when the information that you were being fed was very limited, when the information was constructed by those around you to be accepted by those around you only. You heard about your religion or your myths, and you held on to them as being the truth, and in them you would find the meaning in life that you monkeys need. You just cannot accept that basically you are nothing special. You will die, and guess what? That will be the end. My memories will be passed on to my posit. I will live on in his mind. I am in this manner immortal. In modern times, you have no meaning or any goal, no reason for existence. You just exist. The little tribe would share the same language and the same stories. The tribe in the next valley, they would probably have a different language and a different set of beliefs. You had limited information on the world, and it all made sense. No conflicting viewpoints, and those that did not follow the path would be few and not accepted in that society. The drawback on the storytelling now is that you are deluged in conflicting information. There have been some 3,000 and odd, stupid, made-up religions that have been constructed. So which one is the right one? Are you so fucking lucky that you just happen to be born in the correct place with the correct God? Societal constructs have been created that you follow, but these also differ depending on place or viewpoint. With the massive information that we have at our fingertips, literally with the internet, what do you put your faith in to get meaning in your life? In what do you believe? It is leaving the modern person lost and going through an existential crisis. How fucking pathetic that you need the meaning in your life. You need to consider the essence of human existence, even though we already know there is very little we can and will know about it. You will, or should, unless very stupid, realize that life has no ultimate purpose or answers. The deluge of information pours over you and makes you realize how the world is full of contradictions and the world is chaotic and undefinable. This leads your species feeling alienation and hopelessness, which in essence they should. Hope is taught to you. It in itself is nonsense that needs to be removed from your system. Hope, what a joke. The religions and myths no longer fulfill the need to find meaning and purpose in your life. Knowing that this or these gods sat in the sky overlooking you and were helping you as parental figures offered you comfort and a narrative. The idea of an afterlife allowed you to consider that in reality you will not die, that your fucking soul will continue in its journey onwards. This is no longer the case. With the rise of the nihilistic philosophers, we realise that life is just this time on earth, and that's it. In the last 200 years, things have changed as the information available has changed. We are now sceptical of any belief system that has been accepted norm in the past. Religion is dying out slowly but efficiently. As Nietzsche said, God is dead, yet his shadow still wavers on the wall, disturbing the steps forward that could be made without him. We've gone beyond believing the stories that we are told. The narratives of our ancestors can now be easily dismissed. What pisses me off with your religious narratives is that what you do is you stretch your ancient rule books for selections that fit the modern zeitgeist. You don't follow the rules as they were meant to be followed. You look at the acceptable modern narrative. At the moment, it is a liberal humanist story, and you scan through your books to try to find the pieces of your religious trope that can be manipulated into fitting them in context. What a bag of shite, in my opinion. Look at marriage in the Bible. It is linked to ownership of your woman. You own your partner, literally. Yet what have we done is we have now ignored this as something that we believe because it does not fit into the modern equality context that is the modern viewpoint. So we ignore it, and if you can do that with marriage, then why do we have to follow any of the nonsense laid down in the good book? Got a tattoo and you fucked. Leviticus 19:28, which says, "You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord." That means those cunts with religious texts tattooed on them have really fucked up, huh? Leviticus 11:9-10 tells us about eating shellfish. "You shall regard them as detestable. You shall not eat any of their flesh, and you shall detest their carcasses. Everything in the water that has not fins and scales is detestable to you." Yet Christians eat prawns. Another big mistake. In fact, the mention of not eating certain seafood is mentioned much more than homosexuality that they wrongly detest. You are not allowed to wear cotton and linen at the same time as a Christian. What the very fuck? You need to find other ways to fulfill the finding of your role in life. Narratives clash with the logic of scientific method that is now where we focus, but it becomes complicated. The stories are not warm and comfy, they are cold narratives that show that the world does not care for you and that you were not created for any reason apart from the fact that you are a chemical reaction in a pathway. You are not special. You are only a piece of nature's natural puzzle, and you are a blight, a plague that will eventually bring your own destruction unless I get there first. Science is the best way to understand the universe, but there is no father figure standing over it in control of what is happening. It is just happening. Also, science changes as theories develop and are tested and fail. On top of this, scientific findings can be processed in a way to give a number of meanings and can be turned and tuned into a number of results to suit a person's needs. Why would we care about this cold, unthinking, logically created, mathematically based science? It does not care for us. It just breaks us down into something at the end of it is not particularly special, just a set of chemical reactions that try to build more of themselves. This gives no reason for consciousness or our life path. This does not allow us to rationalize the human experience because really it is unimportant and nothing. So because you don't believe the fairy stories anymore because they sound like nonsense, fucking Noah's Ark, the earth is 6,000 years old. Science is not supportive in the meaning of life because it tells you that really there have none. Then you have nothing to resolve the meaning in your life. Humans need that. So what the fuck do you do? Well, you have to understand that trying to find meaning in your life based on other things is absurd. The human consciousness and the need for meaning are only absurd if you try to find it in the chaos of the universe. The universe is not ordered. The universe's existence has no reason. The universe's existence has no meaning. So why would you look for it? Why would you look for meaning? You go down a nihilistic path where you're confused and depressed and may even consider suicide. Life with no meaning. So what can you do? Well, maybe you should follow the line of the philosopher Emil Kran and just accept that life is shit. That you just have to accept that it's not worth the bother of killing yourself to escape it because people who always commit suicide, or people who commit suicide, always commit it too late. By the time they do, they have already suffered the pain. that you should not be optimistic in life, as they are the ones that get destroyed when the optimism gains them nothing but more pain. To accept that if you have no reason to live, then why would you have a reason to die? Maybe you follow the ideas of Sartre that things are a lot weirder than we think. If you strip the world down to its basic constituents, we can see that for what it is. It's fucking weird. We take the stories that we've been given and break them down into the real parts that make them. Take waking up in the morning in a reality. What is it? From a lengthy unconsciousness that has lasted some 8 hours that is difficult to explain why we need this sleep, you bring yourself back into consciousness and alertness as the burning ball of gas that we call the sun starts to bring light to our part of the earth. Waking up in this context is fucking absurd. When you take the weird and absurd down to its building blocks, it makes you realise that you have so many possibilities of choice within every moment of your life that it is often overwhelming and amazing that we follow the paths that we do. You have free will to choose your path at any time, but so many people do not. You can choose a multitude of outcomes at any point in your day. You're free to take your own direction at any point, but most do not. Many people live in bad faith. They do not look at these other options, and they just accept that this life that you're leading is the life that you have to live because of your mindset. You do not change anything. You in reality can leave that partner. You can move to somewhere else on the planet. It's only you and your beliefs that trap you in this place that you are. Oh, and any system that is put in place to control you is only a system that someone made up to control you. It is not a real thing. Take it further in your head. Why did I marry this person and not this person? Why did I end up living here in London and not Tokyo? Why do I work as an accountant and actually identify myself as an accountant? What makes me happy? What's my purpose in life? What happens when I die? I spit on the word happy. Fucking happy. You were born out of suffering and you always will. It's all so confusing for your little minds. Let's take this still further and look at the society is doing to you as well. What the government is doing to you, and you are letting it. In the past, you were part of a tribe or a large family. This was your support base, and you needed them to live in many ways. If you were ill, they would help. If you were threatened, they would protect you. When you got old, they would feed and look after you. They helped look after you, your children, and so on. Your family was important. You need them to survive. Here at the level socialism worked. What did I say? Socialism worked? Or works? Well, there is a controversial thought. This is probably why we form ourselves into tribes that we call friendship groups, gangs, fraternities, etc. We will just refer to them as clubs for easiness sake. Why are these clubs invented? That's really easy. It is all about size limitation in the number of possible members and the exclusion of those that did not meet the respective criteria of the clubs. Clubs out there that have each other's backs in many different ways. They have a socialist theme in them, that they protect each other at the cost of those that are outside their group. So at the highest level of using the capitalist doctrine, we see that the Bilderberg group, hold your horses right there, you might be thinking at this point, does the Bilderberg group have a socialist doctrine? Oh, and if you have no idea who the Bilderberg group are, then Bilderberg group are doing a very good job. You should know who is really running things in our society, and that is the really fucking rich people of the world. The Bilderberg Group is a real thing, and it's a get-together of the collective of European and North American business leaders, politicians, financiers, and academics. We know it's real because they do meet, and under the auspice of discussing world issues to deal with, such as economic concerns, terrorism, and things like cybersecurity. Amazingly, there tends to be the reoccurring number that I have referenced before on their guest list, between 120 and 150 attendees. Not really a surprise, huh? A perfect size of a band of Homo sapiens, a tribe of Homo sapiens, the right amount of people that you can know. The conspiracy theorists who are right in this case assert that they are plotting to gain global domination. Well, they're not correct, because these guys are not working towards but do have global domination, and they look after each other. They really do. They are all getting a part of the bigger pie. That pie is the world. They sit and discuss the best way in which to suit their prospective wants and needs. Let's take a step lower down the capitalist pecking order, or maybe several steps lower down, and look at a bank like Goldman and Sachs. They appear from the outside to be an aggressive model of capitalism success, but on the inside of the business there is socialism in action. The partnership system that governs the internal workings of the company means that they all stand and support each other's needs. So we see that socialism does work, but it is due to scale that it stops working. When a club, let's say, gets to a certain size, the socialist rules stop working, and then the idea of doing the best for yourself seems to come into action. Again, you've not evolved fast enough to make this adaptation to larger groups, or you have not evolved quick enough to realise that the world should be lots of little clubs, tribes or municipalities, working with their socialist set of rules with others, tribes, clubs and municipalities. Socialism can work when scaled correctly, and that is what we have lost due to the boom of population. We like to think that we can be ethical and treat everyone in a similar manner. In reality, this is not the case. We are only ethical and humanists in our little clubs. When we as a club become overpopulated, the people fight for their own interests and not the interests of others. Unless you are a psychopath like myself, then you do not give a fuck about anyone else at all, even if they are in your club. Psychopaths do really well in a capitalist world. What has society done for you now? Well, it's taken the role of your family. The government has taken on all the responsibilities that the family used to be there for. They have separated you from your tribe and made you an individual. They also express how important it is to be independent, and the right of the individual is imperative. Let us take a simple example. In the past, we would look after the people of the tribe, not the individual. The many came before the few. They would remove any threat to the tribe themselves, and they would be thinking of the unity of the people, not the rights of the individual. The child killer would be removed from the tribe, may be killed, may be banished. He would not be thought of as having any rights. He was a risk to the tribe and to the children of the families. No one thought of his rights. They thought of the safety of the group in this day and age. In this day and age, we have the opposite kind of strategies. We have human rights, meaning that the individual is valued, that their needs are put first, that these people can be treated and helped and brought back into society. The group is secondary in its needs. The government has become your parent and your carer. You are lonely and have been made to be so on purpose. The needs of the many have been replaced by the rights through libertarianism and humanistic thoughts of the individual. Society is fucked by the stories that we tell each other. Well done, you fucking losers.